Good morning and welcome to A Closer Look. I'm your host, Linda Fontaine. Today my guest is Mary Kilpatrick. She is the Executive Director of CASA for Kids. Thank you, Mary, for being here today.
Thank you so much, Linda.
Now let's talk about CASA in general. We have you on every year talking about the Red Shoe Gala, which is the big fundraiser for how we get our funds every year. But let's talk about all the different things that CASA does throughout the year, because you never know what somebody might be interested in. This is a great opportunity for them to learn about all these neat things we do. But first, let's talk about what CASA is. Educate us.
CASA stands for Court Appointed Special Advocates. And what we do is train community volunteers to advocate for children in the juvenile court. We're not an agency where you can just walk in or you can request something. All of our assignments come through the juvenile court. And we extensively train. This is not an easy training just to come in, train a couple of days, and you're ready to go. But you have a good education behind you when you go out to go into the homes and to see what are truly the best needs for a child. And that's what we strive to work toward, is to have good trained volunteers to go into the homes and see what that child needs. And that entails medically wise, financially wise, the home itself, who's going to take care of that child. So it will be a stable home. And it may not be the home that with mom and dad, it may be with someone else, grandma, grandpa, an aunt or an uncle, but whatever is the best home for that child. And we need volunteers now. So if you think that you might be able to volunteer, you need to call the office at 247-1161, extension 1, and leave a message if no one answers, so someone can call you back and go over what it means to be a volunteer. If being an advocate volunteer is not for you, we have other things that you can volunteer for, and so we can talk to you about that. CASA is a not-for-profit 501c3 agency. We have an office in Kingsport, an office in Bristol, and an office in Rogersville, because we serve Sullivan and Hawkins counties. That's how CASAs are divided up by county. So we really need some help right now. We have a lot of protocols in place. If anyone has a problem with COVID or safety or anything at all, ask your questions and we'll tell you what our protocols are.
I love it. Yeah, it's such a great organization. I've been blessed to be involved with it for several years now, and it's near and dear to my heart. So I hope that we get people that will love to help out, because we can always use more helping hands and all these different things we do. For instance, we put on several different events a year, like the Low Country Boil, which is a pretty cool one. Talk to me about that.
Okay, we do have to have these fundraisers in addition to contributions and other things along that line to have money to operate, because we have to have staff that helps the volunteers to do the projects that we need to get done. So the Low Country Boil mainly goes to the Hawkins County office in Rogersville. We have it every year at Amy Mill Eatery. It's just a wonderful time to come to eat. If you love seafood, and if you don't love seafood, you can always just order something for yourself and make a contribution to CASA off the menu. But we get together, and the last couple of years, because of the virus, we have had to do carry-outs, any kind of takeaways. You could eat in, take it with you, whatever you wanted to do. So we make those arrangements so we can feed as many people as possible. And we've had a good showing.
And it's neat because it's outside right by that beautiful creek, you know, and you can sit there and listen to the water, and there's usually music playing as well, and it's a shelter, and people playing cornhole and eating a bunch of Low Country Boil. It's delicious. And that's usually a pretty affordable event. So I hope people consider looking on the website and learning more about that. That's usually in the summertime. And we also have an event called the golf tournament. When is that? Usually in the fall?
No, it's usually, hopefully in the spring.
In the spring,
because,
that's right.
Again, because of changes in schedules and things like that, our date right now is to be announced, but it's usually in the spring.
That's right. I don't know what I was thinking.
And we try to rotate around if we can between different golf courses and in our service area.
Yeah, and that's a fun one. I volunteered to help with that. I don't play golf, but I volunteer just helping serve lunch and different things. And I think last time we did it, Pratt's, brought the food in, catered the food, and everybody was out there. And there's some neat events. Tell me about some of the events during the golf. It's like a hole-in-one, you win something.
Right. Closest to the pin, longest drive, hole-in-one. If you're a golfer, you're going to know all these wonderful things. And then we have prizes for that. Usually it's foursomes to another golf course. And we just have a good time.
Yeah, it is a fun time, and that's pretty cool. And I think last time we had it at Ridgefield.
Yes, it was. And the money's divided up between the different CASA offices.
Yes, that's right. And of course the Red Shoe Gala, which we've had this year, and that's always in February around Valentine's Day, and that's the big, elegant, fun event that we do to raise money. And there's a live auction, a silent auction, there's delicious food, it's at the Meadowview, and there's dancing and a red shoe contest, and that's also a really neat event that y'all do.
Yes, and again, the funds for that go to support all three offices so we can advocate for our children.
And then we have the Friends campaign. Tell me what that is.
Well, the Friends campaign is compiled of a list of friends of board members. CASA was formed in this area in 1991, this office, CASA for Kids. And they started at that point in time having board members give us names that we could send out a letter every year to let people know what CASA does, what they've done during the past year, any needs we might have, and people donate to that Friends campaign. And we've just been really blessed with the people sending in their contributions for that campaign and for the children. It's a wonderful experience. And that's usually every November when the letters go out.
And we rely so much on contributions because we need this money to help, give the children a voice in court. And so without these funds, it's really hard, So.
Exactly. We need to look at different funds all the time because, we've had some problems with funds during this pandemic, and we thank everyone that has given to us and those contributions that are still coming in.
And again, if you think this is something you'd like to volunteer for, we're always looking for board members as well. There's always something you can do. Sometimes it's just as much as giving us names of people that we could send out information to. You'd be surprised what gifts you have. A lot of times people will think, well, I don't know what I could do to offer to help. Well, you never know until you call. And we start asking you questions. You're like, I can do that. And we would really appreciate the calls. 247-1161. That's the CASA for Kids office in Kingsport. And we would love to be able to spread the word more about CASA and the good that it does in our region to help the children that need a voice so much. And again, there's a lot of cool events that we put on every year. The Low Country Boil, the Red Shoe Gala, the golf tournament, and of course the Friends campaign, sending out letters to get people to be more educated about what CASA does and maybe reach into their pockets and help us out. Anything else, any other pearls of wisdom you'd like to share with us, Mary?
I don't know. You might want to ask my staff about that, if I have pearls of wisdom. No, but I just want to tell everyone we do appreciate everything that you do. Sometimes there's confusion in what CASA does as opposed to other organizations.
Yes.
So if anytime you'd like to call that CASA number, 247-1161. And my number is extension 4. Just leave me a message and I'll be glad to call you back and talk to you about CASA.
Thank you so much, Mary. CASA for Kids helps so many in our region, And again, a lot of events coming up this year, and we can always use volunteers, we can always use board members, and we can always use contributions. You don't have to wait till we have an event to give a contribution.
No, please don't.
And if you don't remember the phone number or where it's at, you can just Google CASA for Kids, and you can get all the information you need right there. It's so easy anymore to just find things online. And you can always call me or call Mary at 247-1161. Mary, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us. I'm Linda Fontaine, and this is A Closer Look.